we were introduced to all of our characters and went on some adventures, and then had them all end up at the Red Dragon. And where we ended last week was with this magical energy going through the tavern and everyone having the thought, Anatoly has returned. So I keep losing my train of thought. So the other thing that happened is that one of the players contacted me and said they felt like the character that they had was not really a good fit for the world. And so we do have a new character who will be introducing himself. Also happens to be in the tavern when this whole thing happened. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. As you can probably hear, I still could go for my cold, but hopefully my voice will last. So we're going to start with all of you rolling a history. Can you all hear me?
I'm getting a small issue.
You break it up just a tiny bit for me, but I don't know if that's on my end or your end.
Yeah.
From history check, I got an 11.
I assume I'm rolling as well, or yeah.
I also got an 11.
I got a 16.
Yes, everyone's rolling.
I got a 7.
I got a 15.
19.
Okay, so can you all hear me clearly now?
There's still a little breaking up. Yeah, it's better.
I'd say it's better, yes.
No!
Sorry for that. Apparently Zoom is wanting to kick me off. Is that a better connection?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe?
Seems like it.
Seems
Yep.
like
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Cool. So, for those of you who rolled under 15, you just know something bad is about to happen, but you don't know what. For those of you who rolled over 15, you know it's really bad. And you heard at some point in your life about Anatoly, who is the last of the sovereigns of the islands, and you know that he was a very powerful necromancer, and if he's back, that's bad news. So as this magical pulse goes throughout the inn goes completely silent. And then people just kind of noise erupts throughout the tavern. People are trying to figure out what they're, trying to figure out what even just happened. It gets very loud in the tavern. So how do you all react?
Dink's gonna automatically reach for his sword.
I also pull up my,
All
my
right.
short sword.
Can I try and figure out like
Um,
where the magic came from?
anyone else have anything particular?
I'll probably keep a hand on my daggers and just kind of not fully stand up, but
Yes.
make myself ready to do so.
Yeah.
Sorry, I appear to be having issues with my internet. So oh, now I'm back. I am going to run upstairs and see if that helps my internet problem. I apologize for the delay. Hopefully it will be resolved momentarily. Oops. Sorry about this. Apparently I just muted myself. Someone had asked me about trying to figure out where the magic came from.
That was me.
Yes, make an Arcana check.
Okay.
I also believe I had something to do while that's going on.
I got an 18.
Okay, you happen to know exactly where that magic came from. It was centered around Anatoly's, or the center was Anatoly's monolith.
Okay.
So you now have that information. What did you want to do, Elif?
Yes. I'd like to head over to Dink and Juxon because I recognized them from earlier.
Yes.
I believe we have to do the re-intro sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm going to go dark for a moment because my server is dark.
Should I wait on that or?
Nope, you can go ahead.
So, guess a tallish half elf comes heading over to you in purpley blue, not quite robe, like armor, like leather armor, to you, Dink and Juxon. Just you were sitting. Remind me where, like in the table, like essentially, like comes over, like he was. It looks like he was heading over towards you, and as you're pulling out the dagger, it starts like heading over towards you. Says, "Hey, Dink, it's been a long time since I've talked to you. Juxon, I think." Jackson? Jixon?
Juxon.
Jixon?
Jux.
It's Jixon, right?
Jux.
Oh. Okay.
Juxon.
Well, so judging by everyone's reactions, I'm the only one who noticed that.
I kind of felt it. I have a bad feeling.
Seconded.
Yeah. So, as he says this, so to introduce is a Storm Sorcerer half-elf. I'm playing a Storm Sorcerer half-elf named Johan Saravi. For everybody to know, I had worked with you two before previously. Storm Sorcerers are want to do with ships, help out with, like wind directions and that sort of thing. Keep them from make it a little harder for ships to sink. Anyway, back to point. So essentially, come over to you and say, what do you think we should be? I was going to look for a ship. Do you have any idea what we're supposed to be doing now, or what we should be doing now? Is this? I know what this is. It's not good. It's really not good.
I actually think you meant to go to Zagar and Dink, not me and Dink.
I'd work with you on.
Zagar is the other pirate.
Hasn't Jackson also been on different ships? Jackson had never been on a ship before?
But not on the Mad Corsair.
Nope.
No, I assume different ships. Sorry, I was getting confused with the ships.
Too many
Okay.
ships
I
to
was
count.
never on a ship.
Too many boats.
Well, that's why I thought your name was Jackson. Clearly, I know another named Jackson. Oh well, sorry. Zagar. At least I remember you. Anyway, so yes, this discussion goes on.
Well, I think first we need a drink, and we need a lively tune.
I mean,
Zagar
yes.
will call out into the bar for someone to play an instrument and start singing Yo Ho Ho.
I think that
Let's see. Make. Oh, I don't know what kind of role a "Hey, pay attention to me" shout would fall under. I guess make a persuasion roll.
Could be an
That'd be a
intimidation.
Oh, yeah, you got Nora's attention. Jeez Louise. There we go. Nora, like, hears you, turns to Marla, and like mutters something, and then goes and grabs her violin and starts playing.
Does
And I
every
got a
battle
20 for
have
my
to have a
performance.
soundtrack?
What was that?
I said I got a 20 for my performance for the song. So I'm actually on key this time.
What is your charisma bonus?
That's impressive.
better since I last saw you.
So everyone kind of like, the hubbub quiets down as you're singing, because people are just like not expecting that incredible voice to come from anyone in town, really, much less
A beautiful
Pirate?
half-orc like myself.
I was going to say much less someone who's not a bard, but you know. So you just kind of quiet down all of the chaos, and as you stop, it's just kind of quiet.
Okay. I would have encouraged everyone to sing along.
I'm sure they were, if that's the case, because
I would-
you rolled absurdly high.
I would like to just like right after he does that, as everyone's quieting down, he's singing it. Right after, I would like to say, so, question: anyone who actually knows who Anatoly is, please come over here. I'm going to sit like at a table nearby, but not right next to him. I have some things to
Okay.
discuss.
Well,
So-
he's saying that.
I'm gonna head over there. Just 'cause.
Okay. So the half elf comes out from behind the bar, and he's been trying to get people's attention for the past little while and has been unsuccessful. But now that you've gotten everyone's attention, he kind of like, he raises his voice and he's like, as he's walking over to you, he's like, "Everybody, please calm down. Do not worry. You will know shortly what this means for the island. However, I encourage you tonight, if you have loved ones, to go home to them. All I can tell you right now is that we are going to, as a nation, we are going to encounter trials that the like of which have never been seen for the past 2,000 years. I will be writing up a letter which will be posted on all of the news boards and will be sent to every home in the city. It's going to take me a bit of time, but I assure you that you are safe and that there are people who will be looking out for you. And then people kind of like, okay, like not really sure how to respond to that. Things kind of go back to like a quiet murmur, but much quieter than before. And he walks over to those of you who are sitting at the table with Johann. And he, dang it, my phone is not staying tonight. I am just having all sorts of issues. Thank you all for being so wonderfully patient. There we go. Okay. He walks over and sits down across from you, Johann, and says, puts out his hand and says, Eldon, you are?
Saravi, nice to meet you. We really do have to discuss this issue, though. See if we can pinpoint any sort of, just more information would be nice.
Of course. Absolutely.
Assume Kai is walking over?
Yeah. The pulse came from the pillar, like Antoli's pillar, by the way. The thought, like that was the origin point.
Eldon looks a little bit surprised as you say that. He turns to you and he says, you're absolutely right. I don't know how much you know about the ancient history of our islands. Unfortunately, it's not a pleasant one. There were those who stayed faithful to the old law of justice for all and protection for all. And there were those who became self-centered, power-hungry, and determined to achieve their goals at whatever cost. The individual who was leading that part of the islands was, in fact, by lineage, the rightful sovereign of the islands. Well, to begin with, he was not the rightful sovereign. That should have been his older brothers. However, he became so hungry for power that he killed his entire family, which caused chaos to erupt in the island, and it led to 300 years of civil war. In order to avoid losing the war, he being very powerful and having access to magics far beyond what should have been possible for one person to obtain, he discovered a way to steal himself away for 2,000 years, knowing that when he returned, he would more than likely be unstoppable. Because he believed that the history would, in 2,000 years, have been forgotten. I am a member of the Rangers of the Green Glen, I'm sure you are probably aware that there is a ring of mountains in the center of this island. Those were magically called forth by the rebel mage who was leading the resistance during the Civil War. And he called together his most trusted advisors and formed the Rangers as a means to ensure that the world would not forget about the history and that there would be a group of people prepared to lead the country when Anatoly returned. Any questions?
I would like to be, while this explanation is going on, I'd like to be looking around a bit to see like if there's anyone specifically paying a lot of attention, what not like coming right over, not coming over.
Okay. Roll. Excuse me. Roll a perception check.
All right. See, that would be 16.
Oh, where'd my d20 go? Those who have stayed in the tavern are busy talking to each other, like the people that they came with. But most of the people have just left to head home.
So Dink's gonna pipe up with a question here. If we know who this is and where he is, how exactly do we just go about killing him?
Well, first of all, getting to him is very difficult. He had established what he called the Guardians, similar to the Rangers, but a group of familial lines who have for generations promised that they would fight for him. And unfortunately, they outnumber us at a
Bring me my hat.
4-to-1 ratio. And
Oh,
they
no,
have
right there.
also
It's
spent
right
their
there, sorry.
entire lives,
It's on the bed.
generations on end, training and preparing and learning magic,
Because I'm using
studying.
it. Take this. Put it on the counter and close the door.
So it's not that easy. He also, I mean, Anatoly is still an incredibly powerful mage. For him, what we understand is that for Anatoly, it's only as if a couple of seconds have passed since he sealed himself in his obelisk. So what will happen now is that the Rangers will gather and will hopefully find individuals who would be willing to join in the fight. Unfortunately, it may take some time to gather individuals such that we have half a prayer of winning this battle, because we're going to need individuals who have access to magic. Otherwise, there's not a chance that we will be able to come out of this victorious.
I slowly stand up from the table in the corner and start walking towards where he is talking. And
Okay.
I go, you sure know a lot about this guy. You know anything and everything that somebody that should know about him knows about him. I understand that you're with the Rangers of the Green End, but knowing what you did and where this pulse came from seems a little fishy to me.
It just seems like common knowledge. Of course, everybody knows everything around here for some reason.
But how would you know so much about this one person that you speak of?
Yeah.
Because I've. Oh,
No, yeah. Follow-up question basically is just something. I'll let you know. You go on.
because I've dedicated my entire life to study about this man. The Rangers were established to remember what he did and what he will do, possibly is even already doing now.
But how did you know exactly where that pulse came from? That pulse could have come from anywhere.
I knew that, and because I have more than a little bit of experience with messages like those, though to be fair, this is way stronger than what I typically encounter.
Back, like, we're just a bunch of random people at a randomized tavern on one of the islands. Like, what? Suddenly we're all like gathering together here to do something. I'm not quite understanding why. I mean, I get you have your job, obviously. I mean, it's your job, but like, what? I'm just over here trying to figure out what my next step is, because I'm really interested in what's going on, but at the same time, I really don't want to be involved in, getting beaten to a pulp for whatever thing, or getting stuck in some random, something. I want to help out, but like, yeah.
Well, the pulse was not exclusive to this tavern.
It was probably meant to, like, summon his forces and letting us know it was a side effect. If it went over the entire island, at least.
Oh, that's just a ray of sunshine.
I'll begin to make my way over from where I'm sitting against the wall, and kind of I've been paying loose attention, and I'll approach, and if there's no empty table, I'll just kind of lean against a pillar or wall behind them, and
Okay.
kind of
It's fine.
Just quick question for you, also. How
Yes.
did you spend any of your time that you held on to this great fictitious being that is now made real again? Did you spend any of that time trying to find ways to, even the odds besides gathering more members?
I mean, we have those amongst our members who have been
That's not my
specifically studying magic in order to obtain the level of knowledge and access to magic that Anatoly has. We are hoping to be able to call on the witches of the Andari Coven. And I've been in contact with one of the leaders of the Coven, and it's been a difficult negotiation, but I can assure you that they will be of aid to us. So we have a very powerful group of witches.
You're dealing in people. I'm wondering more about any sort of things that, around the time where before he sealed himself away for 2,000 years, there wouldn't happen to be any useful items that...
A Tilly juice, for example, that'd be real nice. Just some nice, just stab dead, or spells, just like send it back for another few thousand years or something. Just something like, I mean, these things...
Something more material.
Yes, I misunderstood your question. Forgive me.
Yes. More material than the promises of individuals.
Yes.
Because the less people that die, the better.
I absolutely agree. There are, and he kind of like gets lost in thought for a minute. There are 3 vaults that we know of thus far, and excuse me. There is, sorry, the DM is having to look through her notes. There is a vault on Valmark. There's a vault on Zavern, and there's a vault here on Dinar.
Any knowledge on what's inside these vaults?
There are vials of wizard's dust, which will be very helpful in our fight, and that we will be able to train more and more magic users. There is, from what I understand and what I have studied, there is a book that is imbued with all of the knowledge of all of the greatest masters of the sword, and when you read it, it will be as if you lived the thousands and thousands and thousands of years of experience of all of the greatest masters of the sword. There are various means of increased protection against dark magics. There are various very powerful swords that have particular enchantments. I don't know, I mean, obviously no one has ever entered these vaults. I don't know exactly what they contain, but there was a list made that has been passed down from generation to generation, detailing the things that I just shared with you. I'm not sure if it's a complete list or not, but the list is to me, if you ask me, who very rarely deals in magical items, the list is quite extensive.
Just out of curiosity, that lovely magical scroll that you're talking about, yeah, just, for a friend, where might that be?
It was listed as being in the vault on Valemark.
Interesting.
I'll pat Dink on the shoulder and be like, "Oh, there, friend. No need to worry. Your experience is quite enough to slay any sort of sleeping beauty."
Dink's gonna be a little confused by that, but he's gonna stand just a bit straighter. Like, yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Where can we get a list of what's in each vault? You said there's a list or scriptures or something of what's in these vaults. Where can we obtain this, or where can we look at it so we can see possibly what might benefit from the vaults that you have, or that the Rangers have found?
Of course. You can either come with me to the Glen, which I'm going to be heading there as soon as I get all of those letters copied, which I have plenty of people to help me with. We will be leaving probably 2 days from now. Or if you prefer, if you have other duties to attend to, I could simply copy the list and bring it back here, which would take several days, but it's entirely your decision.
I can help with the letters if you want.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He gives you kind of a strange look. You seem to know stuff. But he just doesn't say anything, just kind of looks at you.
Can I
And then
insight check that?
You
Cool.
can.
Figure out, can I insight check her? Them?
Sure.
Yeah.
I got a 16.
Okay. He senses that there's just something different about you. And it's like he's trying to figure it out, but doesn't quite know what he's sensing or why you would be able to know where it came from or why you have experience with those kinds of messages. He's just kind of trying to feel you out because there's about to be a war and he's trying to get a sense of you.
Fair enough.
Did Johan also make an insight check?
Yes, but it was a 9.
Yeah, he just gave her a weird look. That's what
sort
you
of-
know.
Oops. Whatever. I'm giving everyone weird looks, so it's fine. This is lovely, by the way. I'm sure we should all, now that we've had this nice chat, let's figure out if anyone who's interested, where we should not be right now. Probably the islands, but at the same time, we'd find some more info to not be in the way, but also get nice info on it. Anybody else? As long as they're standing here, sitting here, kneeling.
Running would only prevent the inevitable.
Yeah,
Just
might as
talking
well
about
take the
moving
fight.
somewhere else. Like, take the fight. We haven't even
We
probably 15 seconds.
maybe a combination of things.
Hmm.
Don't rush. But if we get a chance, we should take it.
So, would you like to come with me, or
I would.
what are you thinking? All right.
Well, I would like to go back to the Glen.
All right. And he has like a piece of paper that he like pulled out of his sack, and he's turns to you and he says, "What is your name?"
I'm Kia.
He writes down your name.
Jackson.
Wonderful. I appreciate your willingness to cast in lots with someone that you really don't know.
How would you be traveling there, I guess?
Well, the only way to get there is through the forest. However, being a part of the Rangers, I am well versed in traversing the forests around the Glen, and myself and Nora and Marla will be there to guide you. It will be a difficult journey, but if you're careful and stay alert, then we'll be fine.
Dink's gonna look over at Zagar. So, hey, kind of sounds like they're getting into a fight. Can we go with them?
I don't see why not, but I also don't see why we need to rush into this decision tonight. I think we need some good sleep.
Oh,
and
you
a nice-
certainly don't. Definitely. I mean, we won't be. My phone keeps falling over.
Plus,
we
we
won't be
also don't
leaving
want to.
for a couple of days.
Plus, we don't want to, upset Finn unnecessarily. So we should at least check in with her.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
We need to go say hi for a while anyway. I'll head out with you and let me know.
Oh, we're not going anywhere till the morning because I'm not sleeping on that boat again if I don't have to.
Couple a while ago, so I'm good. I'll probably figure something else tonight to do.
All right. So,
Right. He punches everything. Woke me up earlier, so it's fine.
I will hear from all of you in a couple of days then.
Sure.
Wonderful. And he gets up and there's a door on the back wall that leads to the kitchen. And he turns to Kia and says, would you like to help with the letters?
Yeah, I'll follow you.
Okay.
And I'll get up and
And-
follow him.
Go through the kitchen and there's there's another door and there's like a meeting room. And you see Marla and Nora are there as well. And he just kind of sits down and he hands you one of the letters and you see what it contains and you can start copying it.
Once he leaves the room, I'll turn to Dink and I'll be like, I know you're looking for a fight, and I totally respect that. But if I learned one thing, it's to never tip your hand too early. So, I needed a little time.
Yeah, okay. But think of all the things. I haven't fought any of them. Okay, yep. Patience.
Yeah, in time. But, we're talking about a war, not a vacation with some ruffians in the mountains.
Hmm.
Y'all have a very interesting idea of vacations.
It may seem like
It's fun.
It may seem like a war, but we really don't know what's going on quite yet.
Up between one person and an army. So
What I do know is that scared people do terrible things to one another. So, I imagine the looks on all these people's faces, whatever's coming, isn't going to be good.
it's just not.
So lots of opportunity for improvement. That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Take it messy, all going to sleep. I could use with more time.
That's Zagar's plan, is to finish drinking anything he hasn't drank yet and then head to bed.
Okay. Anybody have anything else particular they want to do before heading to bed?
Kia's just gonna copy until they fall asleep.
Okay. So you fall asleep with your head on the table, and then you feel like a shaking your shoulder. Kia, would you like a bed, dear? But it's Marla.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really nice of you. Thank you.
And she has a key in her hand. How awake did you get when she woke you up?
Vaguely, like
She
half asleep.
goes to hand you the key, changes her mind, and just like puts her, well, she's a halfling, so like pats you on whatever part of your back she can reach, and just like, follow me, dear, and leads you to one of the rooms.
Okay.
And thank you for your help, and don't worry about payment for the room. You copied quite a number of letters, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, it's okay. I didn't have anything better to do with my time anyway.
All right, sleep well. And she leaves the key like on the little bedstand and closes the door behind her. So, let's see. So you are all in bed. Kia, you fall soundly asleep in bed. And you find yourself in a beautiful, beautiful field of flowers. And it's a place you've visited often in your dreams. And you see a fairy, maybe? This is new. But she approaches you and she says, Kia, I can't believe it. I never thought I would be able to. Oh my goodness. And she just like stops, like unable to go on.
You seem nice. What's your name?
My name is Ileana. I don't know how much you know about your family, but I am the one who has given you your gifts, if we can call them that. Your family did a wonderful service for me many years ago. This is so... I never knew this could happen. This has never happened before. It's wonderful to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I don't know anything about my biological family, so sorry about that. But you seem nice, so I guess I did something right.
And she kind of smiles and she says, well, I'm sorry to hear that. And I am hoping that we will eventually be able to meet in reality and not just in dreams. I know that your realm is about to encounter a very difficult trial.
Give it to Mama.
I don't know what your part in it all will be, but I am hoping that I will be able to cross over from my realm to yours to be of more concrete aid to you. And she kind of like, the image kind of starts to flicker a little bit. And she kind of like takes a minute to concentrate, and her body kind of becomes a little bit more tangible. And she says, I'm sorry that I don't have time to explain who I am and my connection to your family. This is the first time, I mean, like I said, this is the first time I've ever been able to do this. It's a little bit, and again, kind of like flickers. It's a little bit difficult. It's taken quite a lot of energy. However, this gives me tremendous hope that I will be able to talk directly to you again. And then it just disappears.
Oh no. I hope she's okay.
You just are in that field again where you've been, you know, all those times before in your dreams. And yeah, the rest of you don't have any crazy dreams or anything, unless you want to have dreams of insignificant craziness.
Did mine that got flashed back still happen from the first session?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the next night.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. Yes.
No, it's
Hold on.
No, it's not.
because we backed up.
we rewound time.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
it's the same night.
You also have a crazy dream. It is the same night. Thank you. I confused myself last week, apparently. So yes, yours still happens as it happened
birthday
last
girl.
week. Yeah, and you all wake up, and it's the morning. What do you want to do?
Breakfast.
Check on
Night night.
various guild things before heading over to meet up with the rest of these people. Trying to see if I can't get further in touch with them.
Double check the board, the job board, which I haven't gotten a chance to check yet, just in case there's something else.
There's a dent in the job board from where two individuals punched it last
Night
night.
night.
And you see a copy of the letter that explains who Anatoly is and what's happening and how to get in touch with Eldon. Dang it.
Apparently, whenever you say his name, views get inverted. Your eyeballs get inverted.
Apparently. And you hear a loud crash because the DM's phone falls over. I should be getting a webcam soon.
But
I totally just lost my
The
train of
one.
thought. Right. So there's that letter. There's still the posting about the poisonous snakes.
yeah, head back
And-
inside and pay for the room. Then,
That's it.
yeah, I'll head back inside and pay for the room. And then
Okay.
I guess I'll sit at whichever table. I'll figure out which I'm going to sit. Just sit at a random
Okay.
table and wait for things to start again. Apparently things are happening.
So Marla is standing behind the shorter half of the bar. She greets you as you come down the stairs and you know, just a oh, hello, and then you go and check the job board, and as you come back in, Nora comes up and, hi, how did you sleep okay last night? How are you doing? Is there anything exciting happening?
Yes, sort of, but it's bad.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's not a good kind of excitement. Can I get you some breakfast? Something to drink?
No. Well, just some water and some bread, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Nah.
She scampers away to the kitchen and comes out with a fresh loaf of bread and a glass of water for you. This is driving me crazy. Stayed up so well last week. I don't know what's going on.
You have silly putty, you can. But yeah. Yep. All right. So yeah, bed, water, sit down, figure out, see if I recognize anyone trying to come to a table.
There we go. I may be a little bit cockeyed, but at least it's staying. Okay, so does
Zegger
anyone
will clamber down from the rooms upstairs and try and find Dink a little bit later than he normally would be up.
Okay.
And he'll plop down at the table next to him and be like, you'll never understand what just happened. So I woke up in the middle of the night and my sword turned into a woman. And the woman talked to me and she told me about being like thousands of years old or something like that. And it had to do with the whole Anatoly guy. And yeah, I'd never seen her before. And no, I haven't slept with her. She didn't even look that familiar even. Though I did think she might have looked like that one woman from the port over at you'd know her if you saw her. Never mind. Anyway, she thinks that we need to go on this thing.
Just how much did you drink last night after I went to bed?
Not after. I went to bed before you. Remember?
Oh shit, you did. Are you sure you didn't drink anything up in the room? Or, take some... Nope, okay.
No.
That's a little weird.
And the fire turned purple. Like she turned everything purple. It was really weird.
I'm uncomfortable with that.
Okay. Not everything.
Uh-huh. Okay, right. So your sword, and this is not a euphemism,
No.
turned into a woman who talked to you and said, we need to go, and then she turned not everything purple.
Yeah, she used to be the queen of the islands or something. Like, I don't know if the name Antonia Andari means anything to anyone around here.
I suppose I'm gonna have to do a history check to see if it means anything to me.
Yep.
No, I got a 3.
Definitely doesn't mean anything to you at all.
Are you sure that isn't that one lady from that one port that we're both thinking of?
That's what I thought. But she said no. She said she's been dead for thousands of years. I asked twice to make sure that this wasn't some sort of, oh, hey, now that I got your attention, you have these kids, they kind of look like you, tusks and everything. And it wasn't. She actually went back into the sword before we ever got to the hook of trying to find out how much loot I had.
She went into the sword.
Yeah, she's a ghost. She's dead, remember?
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world to me. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to me, so I'm glad it makes sense to you.
Yep. Yeah. I talk to my sword all the time. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually, you do. Every time you get in a fight.
That's fine, but it doesn't turn into anyone. It's a sword.
But you've seen the fire on my sword before.
I mean,
You saw it in battle.
but it's like fire, not purple.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait, what are those like? Maybe you have like a magic fire person living in your sword.
That could be it. Named Antonio.
Antonio or Antonio?
Zadar,
Yes.
have you looked at your sword this morning?
Yes, that would have been the
It's
first thing
still
he
a
did was
woman.
check his sword.
Okay. So,
Perception check.
well, it's pretty obvious. If he held his sword, he would be able to tell.
You are now
Not gonna
wielding
make
a
you roll
woman.
for that.
Insight check the sword.
So, you know how the sword always drew you to rubies and emeralds for some obscure reason?
Yes.
So you take out your sword. It used to be a fairly simple sword.
Mhm.
The hilt of it now has this like vine motif. And every so often there will be an emerald like within the leaves of the vine. And then the sword itself has a couple of amethysts, like 2, 3, about 5 of them, and there's some sort of etching on the sword that the vine like continues onto the sword itself, and it connects all of the amethysts, and it there's like petals around each amethyst to make it look like a violet. And the sword fits in your hand like it never has before.
So I will actually draw the sword to show this to Dink and
Okay.
be like, see, look, she bedazzled it.
You bedazzled it, because
Have you ever seen me do anything like this? I'm not. I am that pretty, but I don't do pretty things.
you do, but in a yeah.
Yeah, I don't do these kinds of pretty things.
Okay, so mysterious sword woman bedazzled the sword. Have
That's
you
what I'm
tried
telling
like
you.
doing anything with it? Does it do anything different this morning?
Does my sword do something different this morning?
What do you try to make your sword do?
Just kill a random peasant. Go for it.
I'll turn
No!
Marlo
I'll,
would kick your ass.
I'll ignite the fire of it to just see what happens.
All right, it is a purple fire.
See,
Oh
purple,
shit!
and then I'll put it out.
While this is going on, I'm kind of still sitting in like the corner, being my
Oh yeah, everyone in the tavern sees this purple
being my
flame come out
mysterious
of a sword.
self. I kind of like focus more on this purple flame now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I am not being discreet at all at this point. I'm a little flustered by this dream for 2 reasons. I've never had a dead woman talk to me before, and I've never run into a woman that I haven't slept with. So it's really weird. Oh, never. Let me clarify. Never run into a woman in my bedroom that I haven't slept with.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I was about to say,
Alright,
Marlo?
There we go.
Nora,
Every woman he meets ever.
And we're talking
Well,
about
I
a half
mean-
orc here too.
A pretty half orc, very pretty.
Gorgeous half orc. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
That little bedazzled tusks.
Get that bad boy motif going for him.
Dazzled tusks. You guys have
No,
successfully
it's-
broken your DM already.
Ooh, this
Putting
is
it out there.
great.
All we needed was a
This is the
bedazzler. Who
point where
knew?
we need somebody to be writing some of this stuff down.
Oh,
I'm trying to, but my computer doesn't.
Where is our bard?
this is the reason why
fuck.
we stream the game, so we can go back later and write everything down.
Also, the quote, "My sword turned into a lady." It's pretty fantastic. Back in character. Does anyone else have a reaction to this sword ignited with a purple flame?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go sit with Juxon and apologize for a minute about the whole Juxon, Jackson, Jixon, John thing. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'll take note of it, but I don't think I'll do anything abrasive.
Okay.
I said, I'm really confused. Not me, but I go to sit with Juxon and just,
Yes.
He comes over and I'm assuming he apologizes to me, but I kind of just ignore it and just keep staring at this purple flame.
apologize, I mean sit down and offer a dagger extra. Like, listen, I'm sorry. Look, basically, sit down. Look, I'm sorry about this. Handle first. Look, I'm sorry about this. Screwing up your name. Done it too many times. You want a dagger? I got extras.
I don't need your measly dagger, and I kind of just.
You really
ignore
don't
it.
know what the dagger is, though. All right. Anyway, so what do you make of the purple?
I don't respond.
Good for you.
Kia's probably gonna come downstairs at this point, I guess.
I'm trying to be mysterious a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, how shocking.
Kia, do you come down in time to see the purple flame?
Sure.
What sort of reaction do you have to said purple flame?
I'm just gonna look at Marla and then back at the sword and just judging if that's enough to get them yelled at or a stern talking to.
So Marla notices you looking at her, shrugs her shoulders, rolls her eyes, and goes back to whatever she was doing behind the bar.
Fair.
Out of curiosity, DM, does Dink recognize the flower?
No,
Damn it. Okay.
I know. Yeah, no,
Yes.
you do not.
Okay.
Um,
That's because of my really bad history check. I'm blind to all the things now.
It's the sparkle of all the bedazzling.
That's it. That's it.
I was gonna say it's the lack of imbibement Dink has had yet this morning.
They've just bedazzled over your history knowledge. That's all of it. It's bedazzled now.
So, you are all in the main room of the tavern.
I think
When
I'll head
you
over
do-
to Cigar and
Oh,
Dink.
go ahead.
At this point, I'm just going, okay. No one else is doing anything here. Everyone's too busy trying to pretend they don't care or being super, super sneaky and observant. Pointed look at Jackson next to me. Just, I'm sure he doesn't respond. I'm just like, so I'll head over. And I
Okay.
did say this out loud, by the way. I'm saying this out, literally. I'm saying.
Perfect.
So everyone's just being way too sneaky and observant and trying to pretend to be not paying attention, but also being observant. So let's initiate. And I'm just gonna walk over and. What's up with the sword, man? Just everyone's clearly confused.
Have you seen it?
Everyone just saw it. You just pulled out a spikely, shiny bard, essentially. You just pulled a weaponized bard of just sparkling and purple fire, a random sheath. After a weird magical message confused everyone. So I think it's a little.
At one point, a dead woman came out of it and talked.
Oh, wait, what? No, we were just distracted by the sword. Your voice doesn't carry very far yet.
Oh, wow. I get that a lot. People are always distracted by my sword. He will sheath it and look at Johan and say, well, we're going on an adventure. I have no idea what it has to do with, other than we have to kill a bad guy. Save the islands, make dead ghosts happy, that kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, that's what happened.
And the purple flame happened. That, yeah.
So a dead woman told you about your own sword, or was this what's going on here?
Well, okay. Since you look like someone that actually wants all the details, an apparition came out of the sword in the middle of the night by the name of Antonia Andari. She claims to have been the first queen of the islands.
Can I see if I, by the way, while this, yes.
Roll with advantage because of your upbringing.
Okay. Well, that's cocked. Okay, that is a 22.
Yes, you know the name Antonia Andari. She is the wife of the first sovereign of the islands, Joseph, and the two of them were chosen to rule the islands because of their purity and like selflessness, like focusing on what's actually best for the islands. Neither of them was born into money. Neither of them wanted money. So that's kind of why they were picked, was because they were so disinterested in power and money that everyone figured this is a good choice because then they'll actually care about the people. You, however, do not know anything about a sword.
Yeah. So as soon as you mention that name, eyebrow raise. Ooh, that. So, see. This is what good, interesting things coming back happens. See, the previous guy was kind of an ass, and I don't want to have to deal with that garbage because I can't be happy about investigating something which could kill everybody. But see, this is interesting because it's not going to kill everyone. Hopefully.
No, it's supposed to save everyone.
Yeah. See. Now we can look at stuff. So yeah, yes, that's definitely. I recognize the name. It's one of the first sovereigns part of one of the first sovereignships of the island. Continue.
And she tried to imbue her essence into an artifact in order to kind of do the same thing that I guess Anatoly did, but different. Since Anatoly, I guess, is actually coming back and she's just imparting part of herself to,
haunt people.
Yeah, but with the intent of making sure he's not forgotten forever, like his plan was. And she ended up in this sword. And when the boom magic thing happened, it shook things loose so she could actually communicate again.
We'll have to get that checked out. And I just sit down, keep drinking, I guess. We'll definitely have to get that checked out at some point. Like a magic doctor's appointment. Just something for your,
He'll raise an eyebrow and then he'll turn to Dink and said, I assumed that you liked the first story better than that one. It was kind of dry and boring.
Yeah. When you're retelling this later, go with the first one.
Okay.
Boring anyway, so it's fine.
So, excuse me. Do any of you have any plans for the next 2 days till you have to make a decision?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna help around the tavern, like literally anything they needed help with, because I don't have anything better to do.
I suppose since I didn't sleep at the inn and due to timing of things, this is probably when I'd actually be meeting up at the inn.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because I was doing my roguish bullshit.
Doing things.
And so I'll walk in, make note of Juxon in the corner, and then the three that are currently still sitting and talking. Look at Juxon, and not really, and then turn and look at Dinkin, the other two, and make my way over. So, have you two made your decision yet? I'm pointing specifically at Zagar and Dink.
Well, I'm going wherever there's a fight, so I think we are going. Yes, yeah. Plus, he's got, shiny sword with woman inside and gonna.
Shiny sword with a woman inside?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna take too long. I'll just assume
Yeah.
that it's. Yeah.
Blast of magic shook things loose. Things went weird. But hey, I'm not a father. That's all that really matters.
Hey, yeah, good. That's really the important part. So
That's a good one. You should add that to the first telling. That was, yep. Nice tag.
Lead with that, right?
yeah, so yes, that is
Yep,
a good,
yep.
that is a good hook to whatever story you told. That being said, I suppose I'll accompany you all because I have no business at the moment and really nothing else. Hell, a bit of war might be fun. So
Excellent.
now we just got to drag
We haven't been
the.
properly introduced, though.
Oh yes, apologies. And to kind of give you a better description, there's really like a mask covering most of my face right now, and a hood up, black cloaks, gray undertones as well. But I'll reach out a gloved hand and say, Leon O'Leary, at your service.
Zagar will shake your hand actively and say, Zagar, quartermaster of the Mad Corsair. And this here, slapping him on the back, is Dink Adrigo, mighty
Pleasure to meet you
warrior.
both.
Also, Carpenter from the Mad Corsair. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Carpenter.
Hi.
Then he'll turn to Johan and say, and this is Johan. I remember him from a few trips.
Yeah, Johan Servari, ship movement assistant and general stormy personality.
You have such great titles. I'm
Third prettiest on the Mad Corsair, even.
second to
Who's the
probably.
second?
Well, the captain's obviously the prettiest. You never tell her otherwise.
Of course.
He won't make it
Who
off
was
the
number
ship.
2?
If you tell a woman she's
Me?
anything about the prettiest.
I thought you were 3rd.
No, Johan's third prettiest. Have you
Ah.
seen him? He had a bath this week. He looks amazing.
I think your standards are a little out of whack.
I didn't
Anyways,
sleep well.
you're too busy talking to dead women.
Well, that's what his standards are. So,
I assume, considering the standards that, someone would keep of live company, it's really not that bad. Usually they have better stories to tell anyway. But,
Then
Yeah.
most of them aren't royalty, so yeah.
And she did confirm basically everything the gentleman said last night.
oh, that's good. I was wondering if we had some sort of cross-reference.
If you count a ghost and a sword that I didn't know existed before of a queen that's,
A queen?
yeah.
Antonia Andari, apparently.
I suppose I'll take my turn to roll the do I understand this individual, if possible.
Go for it.
Sweet. That is a natural 1.
Nope. No idea.
You can join Dink in the clueless corner.
That's fine.
I was going to say, you know even less than Dink, because
Ah.
Dink managed to roll a 3.
Sonia, cheap sounds lovely, if nothing else.
Any research around here, like ever?
No. Why would I spend my time worrying about dead people when I have enough living ones to kill?
Well, they're clearly not dead in a way that'll be unaffected.
I mean, the dead will always come back.
Dead guy right now.
I mean, I'm not quite dead, but
Resisting the urge to break into song. Anyway.
While they're talking about that, I slowly stand up and head to the door and walk out of the Red Dragon
Okay.
and turn towards the job board to read the sign that was actually put up.
Brilliant. There might actually be information in the letter.
Tell them. I assume they read it.
Logical bot.
So it details a little bit more in depth about Anatoly's powers, and gives kind of the same spiel that Eldon gave in person. It does go a little bit more into kind of the wording is hard. Kind of the role that the Rangers had in preserving the history. And then it says, if you have any questions or would like to join us, contact Eldon, at the Red Dragon Tavern. So it doesn't really have much more information, but it does tell you a little bit more about like the fact that Anatoly can he has an imp for a familiar, and he was known to have something called Wraithkin. Not sure what that is. In the letter it says, he had Wraithkin to serve him, parentheses, ask Eldon for more information if desired, close parentheses. And the third piece of information about Anatoly that's in the letter is that he is able to form wizard's dust from purified water, which is a very difficult, complex process that has long been forgotten. And yeah, those are the 3 new facts that you learn in reading the letter.
Do I see him leave?
Were you trying to be sneaky about it?
Well, I mean, more seeing him leave than...
No, I was asking if he was trying to be sneaky about it. About his leaving.
No, while they were discussing things, I got up and walked out.
Okay. Roll a perception check, because you were involved in a conversation.
Perception... 12.
I'll say yeah. I mean, he wasn't necessarily being sneaky, so yeah. You can notice him walk out.
I will notice him walk out and take note of... I'll just take note of it for the moment because I'm still in a conversation.
Okay.
Well, after reading the letter, or the post board, I also checked to see if anything's been updated overnight on the job board to see if there's anything to do.
Nope.
So
Still just those darn poisonous snakes.
So that's all that it is. It's just the poisonous snakes. There was nothing else.
Nope.
Well, since it's actually daylight time, I'm actually going to go talk to the person to get more information on that.
Okay, so you go and find Mr. Smith, and he tells you, exactly where to find them, and he says, I'll give you 5 gold per snake head you bring back to me. And it's, outside the town. There's a bit of a path. I think I said they were in the southern part of, or out the southern entrance of town. I am learning how to take better notes. But yeah, there's just a little wooded path, and that's where they've been encountered, mostly by the rangers, because really the rangers are the only ones who go from the city into the forest for any sort of reason. But yeah, so.
Now, where is this compared to where Mr. Smith is at?
He is, I am terrible at directions. He is in the western, quarter of the city, but pretty close to that spoke that comes out from the center of the city. So it wouldn't be that hard to just go, significantly less than a mile to get to the road to head out of the city. So he's like southwest corner.
So I kind of
Well,
look
it's
at
around
him.
city.
I look at Mr. Smith and says, "You've got yourself a deal. How big is the nest
Wonderful.
that you're aware of?"
Well, last I had any sort of report, it was obviously the mother and about, it was a little difficult to count, somewhere between 6 and 8 young ones.
All right, I'll see what I can do. And I walk out
All right.
and head that way.
All right. Meanwhile, anything happening in the tavern?
I mean,
Oh.
I was gonna see if Kaya finished up all the letters or if there are more to do. Kia, sorry, my mistake. No, actually, ask Kia. Like, flag her
Right.
over and ask her. If
Right.
Did I finish them all?
Roll a percentile.
Okay. 93.
Yes, you finished them all.
Nice. Yeah, I did them all.
Amazing. We need to make sure you get a good breakfast. I bet you're beat. On top of that, you seem to know a lot about these mystical things, much like Johan. Do you know anything about an Antonia Andari?
Do I? History check, I guess.
Yep.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop. 19.
I just threw one of my d20s. Yes.
Oh.
You know the same information as Johan, that she was the wife of the first sovereign, and you know that they were chosen to rule because they had no interest in power or money.
Yeah, she was sort of important, yes. Why? Are you asking about her?
No, she's asking about us. Well, she asked about me, but I think that it extends to all of us with the events of last night.
How did she ask you? She's been dead for thousands of years, I think.
Something about putting her essence into the sword that I have, and whatever happened last night woke her up or something.
Can I try something?
Mm-hmm. You can.
Okay, so I'm gonna DM you something. Real quick.
All right.
I'll
That
say,
means my video is going to disappear because I have to open Discord on my phone
Oh,
because the desktop decided to stop connecting to the internet. I am just having all sorts of technical difficulties.
it happens. I hope
Yeah.
you're less. While she's DMing, or they're DMing you, excuse me. I am going to kind of slip out and try to see if I can't track down Jackson. In the meantime.
Okay. Sure, the answer is yes. That will work.
nice. Okay. He's Zagar, right? Zagar?
Zagar, yes.
Can you... Is the sword still out? Can I see it for a moment? Just literally see it. I don't have to touch it.
Sure. I'll reach back and pull it from its scabbard and lay it out for you.
Okay, I'm going to do the thing. I guess.
Okay.
Just say hi.
Yeah, she, somewhat surprised, says, hello? What everyone sees who can see the sword is that the violets on the actual blade start to emit a soft light as Kia is looking at the sword.
So I've been told that you're Antonia Andari. Is that right? Sorry.
Yes. How is this happening?
Oh, I can talk to people. I've just always been able to do it. And you're a person, so I guess I can talk to you too.
All right. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Kia. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Kia.
Zagar seems a little confused about this whole thing. Do you want me to tell him anything? Can you talk to him? I don't know how that works.
Well, I agree with you. He seems very confused. I thought I was some woman in a port that he had made love to.
Who is that?
Quite surprising to me. I'm hoping that I'll be able to continue to communicate directly with him, but I mean, you can just confirm that he wasn't just hallucinating last night. Also, you can tell him that and she just kind of stops. Like, I was going to say, looks off into the distance. You can't actually see her. But she just kind of stops. And she says, actually, no, that would just, I'm afraid that would just confuse him even more. So I guess just confirm that what you saw was true.
Okay. You seem nice. Bye now.
Goodbye. So what everyone else just saw was Kia just staring at the sword, and the sword starting to emit a faint purple light.
I'm gonna look up at Zagar and be like, so you weren't hallucinating. Good job. Yeah, she's pretty nice, actually. Yeah. You might want to talk about that to people who, like, know more about this, like the Rangers or something. Can just talk to people, and she's a person.
Well, that's amazing. And thank you for confirming.
No problem.
And I'll kind of look at the rest of the table and say, see? Mm-hmm.
With you.
Okay, guess you're not losing it. Okay.
Yet.
Woman in the sword.
Yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Give it
The
time.
sword. Yeah, figure it out.
Kia, the sword, you hear Antonia in your mind, and she goes, that's debatable.
Kia laughs out loud. Just for seemingly no reason.
So, what you doing there? The laughing thing.
I can still hear her.
Oh, I was okay. Thought you were asking about what humor is.
That is a really in-depth question, depending on the person you're asking it to.
Just gonna lean over while they're talking about humor. Zagar, they can hear your sword. Well, apparently all the time.
Not
Why
me.
can't you hear your sword?
Well, I could before the thing happened, and then there was the thing that happened, and then I got a little freaked out, so I wanted to make sure that I hadn't lost it yet. and then I'll probably go back to talking to it, but its voice is going to be totally different now.
And you hear Zagar as you say, I wanted to make sure I hadn't lost it yet.
Mhm.
You hear Antonia say, yet.
And he'll just give a sly smirk about seemingly nothing, and then go back to breakfast, sheath his sword and go back to breakfast, and mutter to himself, we'll talk more about that later, my dear.
So, Dink, how do you feel about being one of two people left out of a conversation?
Super fun. I mean, Zagar usually goes off with someone most nights. So.
Okay.
But it doesn't usually happen like right in front of me.
Yeah. Here, let's try it. Let's try it. I'm gonna just cast message to him so no one else he hears it, and yeah.
Nice.
So you hear me? Yep. So I just take out I take like a necklace out. It's like I'm going to describe it a little bit later. Basically, it's like just like a like an orb, essentially like a simple like necklace sort of jewel thing. It's all like in talking into it, and you're hearing me say stuff, but they aren't. So, how's your day? I figured I'd do this just to give a nice equal playing ground of unhearable conversations. Oh, you can reply to this message.
And this is like a mental response, right? Because he's just automatically going to speak out loud instead of responding mentally.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm responding to. You're sitting right next to me.
I know, but now we both get to have not fully verbal conversations.
Oh, not.
You don't have to actually talk, and I'm just looking at you while talking to this thing, and they can't hear it. See, so you can hear me, but they're not actually hearing me, so it just looks like my mouth's moving, and you're having half of a conversation, even though we're both talking. You can reply to this message.
She's gonna think really hard and try to respond just non-verbally without moving his mouth, which is weird, but he's eventually going to respond.
I feel like there should be some sort of role for that.
I think there's
Like an intelligence roll.
I was going to say acrobatics, but intelligence actually makes way more sense.
mental acrobatics.
Exactly. Let's go with intelligence. Check.
I rolled a 6.
What's your
We'll work on
modifier?
it.
Well, I take that back. I rolled a 5. My modifier is plus.
Okay.
2, so
You get a couple of syllables out mentally, and then you just pick up mid-word verbally.
We'll have to work on that.
magic isn't my thing. It's apparently Zagar's thing. Talk to.
Oh, is it?
Zagar.
Fine. Hi, Zagar. I just continue trying, messaging back and forth, trying to figure out who actually can talk without talking.
So Zagar,
Occasional,
you all of
just
a sudden
interview.
hear Johan's voice. Oh, hey, Zagar. In your mind.
I will just raise an eyebrow at him and say this again, but not out loud.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we can all do it, so why not? Almost all. Just having an issue. Just checking who it's worth trying.
At this rate, I'm going to have a headache.
You'll get used to it.
You're all still sitting at the same table, yes?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Full
So
texting circle.
You both, Kia and Zagar, heard that whole, well, the whole half a conversation. You heard Dink start mid word, and okay, I just wanted to make sure I was picturing things correctly.
I'm
Oh,
still
yeah. And I just take a bite, and I look at Dink and shrug my shoulders and take another bite of breakfast.
Enjoy. And
Yep.
then I'm gonna go to Kia. So, Kia, now I've tried them. I'm just checking to see who it's worth using this for in the future, that we know people can, do this.
You don't have to use a spell on me, you know. You
I
just
know,
have
but it's just fun.
Okay. I mean, you can respond to this without using a spell.
Okay. Not actually, but yeah. So, Oh, so that's a continuous thing for you as opposed to repeatedly.
I'm not casting anything.
Ah. It's interesting. It's cool. It's really cool.
It's just a thing.
Yeah, I have to work on that. Is that like a thing you can learn, or?
I don't think so. I've always been able to do it. Freaked out a lot of the little kids when I was also little. It's useful though.
I mean, I'm sure you still do it, but that's fair.
I mean, yeah, but now I know not to do it without telling other people that I'm going to do it.
Alright. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. And then verbal now. Just back to verbal conversations. Well, that was fun. So, how's breakfast? I'm just, yeah.
I think we could pan to the snake hunters soon.
Yeah.
I was like, how's breakfast? I assume you were going to switch over.
I'm sorry, I am having technical difficulties again. You can still hear me, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm assuming you can't see me though. Hey.
Well, there is a photo that lingered behind, and
There's you get a nice Skype headshot.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so I mean, I will keep trying to figure out why my video isn't working. We can keep playing.
Well, it's I can't pronounce his name.
Leon. It's pretty
Okay, so
simple.
it is Leon.
Yeah.
I know
Leon.
he said he was kind of walking out to see if he can find me in the process of them talking. So
Right.
Yeah, I left the conversation as soon as the I believe Zagar went on to talk to Kia, and then all that ensued.
Right. Right. So I'm assuming you go to the job board, find out where to go, and go talk to Mr. Smith.
I suppose so.
Unless you have another way you want to, unless you just want to like.
No, I'll just follow in the footsteps, I guess, and eventually just catch up to him, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Jackson, how fast are you going?
well, my speed is only 30, so whatever that would be considered. I'm like
Okay.
just a normal pace. I'm not walking fast or slow
Okay.
or.
What's your speed, Leon?
Same. So
Okay. So eventually, I would say probably, okay, so he stopped to have a conversation with Mr. Smith. So probably like as he's getting to the edge of town would be where you catch up with him.
okay. And I'll kind of stroll up beside Jackson and just kind of look over and
Yes.
felt like you could use some company.
I'm a ranger. I tend to do things on my own, but company's always welcome.
Beats sitting around in a tavern all day.
Not used to the rogues myself, to be honest with you.
I think here's something you did.
Oh, so I didn't. Okay. I'm not used to the rogues myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're usually night dwellers, but we can hold around.
Now you have to remember, I'm half dwarf, half elf. I'm used to being around paladins, warriors, some rangers. Rogues aren't common in my area, so I'm a little skeptical about having you around, but you can stay.
Thank you. I'll try to remove some of the skepticism, if nothing else.
I'm kind of that lone wolf myself, but I will work with others when needed. But
Probably probably a good thing considering what we have that lies at least ahead of most people. I don't know what your stance on is on the upcoming events, but working with others will be paramount no matter where you tread.
Well, I'm gonna be going back to the with the ranger to kind of get an idea of what's in the vaults that they have found, because I need to know if there's something worthwhile that might be beneficial to not just myself, but anybody that's going to be joining, where we can possibly take this out a lot easier than having hundreds of people die for no apparent reason. I don't know if that's how they feel or what they want to do, but that's what I'm going to do.
Gotcha. Alright. Well, let's hunt some rattlesnakes, huh?
But yeah, I'm out. Mr. Smith said 5 gold ahead. He said there should be about 8 to 9, maybe about 8, 9 rattlesnakes out here. So I figured, why not make a little gold before I possibly go get myself killed?
Well, the last bit of gold, it never hurts.
So I was not prepared for you guys to go fight snakes, and I don't have any stats in front of me, and we only have 15 minutes. So,
If you want
you
to
are
put us
both-
off to the, if there's anybody else that wants to do anything, we can save that for
Yeah.
like beginning of next
I
time.
also just don't really want to start combat with only 15 minutes.
No, that's
Yeah,
that's perfectly
that's-
fine.
So-
If you want to wait and put, if anybody else has anything
Yeah.
going on, I'm fine with that.
All right, so the two of you are walking through the very dense forest to go kill some snakes. I'm sorry, snake lovers. I'm a snake too. But these ones are disrupting things.
These are disrupting ropes and not fun ropes.
So, does anyone else have anything they want to do? Anyone they want to talk to? Any errands they want to run?
I want to talk to the guy I scribed letters for yesterday about
Okay.
my dream.
Okay. So he's behind the taller half of the bar.
Okay. Yeah, what's his name again?
Eldon. EL''DON.
Hey, Eldon.
Yes.
So like, last night when I went to sleep, okay. So, I do, my dreams are always weird, but this is weirder than normal because someone else came into my dreams and said hi, but not someone else, physical, if that makes sense, which is weird. And do you know anything about that? Maybe you work for an organization or exist in an organization where you know a bunch of stuff about magic, and I know some stuff about magic, but that hasn't happened before.
Well, could you describe? I mean, did she give a name? What did she look like?
She said her name was Ileana.
My Celtic not die, just roll the 6 again. He thinks for a minute, and he says, "Liana, that doesn't sound familiar. I mean, I know there are individuals who can communicate through dreams via magic. I don't know of any magic using Ileana. I'm sorry. I wish I could be of more help."
It's okay. I thought I'd try.
Let me know if you find out anything more from her.
I will. Also, that guy's sword the one that he pulled out earlier and had purple fire from it. That has the essence of Antonia Andari in it. So I don't know if that's gonna be important.
Uh, when you say the name Antonia Andari, his eyes just get really big. He just says, "I beg your pardon?"
He's not lying about it either. I checked. I talked to her. I mean, as much as I can.
You
It's
were able to talk to the magically imbued essence of the first sovereign of the islands, which resides in a pirate sword.
I mean, I
And he,
talk to people, and she's a person. But like, not normal talking to people. I can, talk to people in their minds. And she's still a person, and she's mostly just her mind. So, as long as I can see the sword, I can talk to her. That's why I knew where the pulse came from. I'm a little bit not an expert, but experienced with things like minds and messages.
hmm.
I saw
Well,
your weird look yesterday. I thought I should explain.
I am sorry about that. It just came as a bit of a surprise.
Fair enough.
I didn't mean to insult you at all. I hope that's clear.
I'm not insulted. It was an
Wow.
entirely reasonable concern.
Well, thank you for telling me.
I mean, you just asked for more information, so information was given.
I'm not sure what to do with the information you just gave me, to be perfectly honest. Well, if you find out anything else from from sentient inanimate objects or from dreams, please let me know. All the information we can gather from any sources will be very helpful.
Okay.
And he just kind of goes lost in thought, trying to process all of the information he just heard.
Yep. Ooh.
Hope
that was a good idea.
Well,
it's more just like you caught him off guard. He wasn't expecting information of that nature.
Who would?
Dr. Xavier, how about you?
Do the pirates want to do anything?
Well, Kia went off to have her conversation. Zagar will continue eating, but mentally, he's having a conversation of his own, and he's reassuring Antonia that though he may not be the brightest mind in the room, he quickly learned that the dumber someone thinks you are, the quicker you gain the upper hand. And not to underestimate him.
I keep wanting to describe what she's doing physically. She's not physically there. She responds and says, something you should know about me. I have quite the sense of humor. I hope you don't take offense at what I said. It really was meant entirely in jest. You found the sword, and you have carried the sword for quite a while now, and I certainly do not underestimate you because, well, I've seen what you can do, and I'm confident that I'm in the right hands.
Excellent. So we have an understanding, because I didn't know how much of Estes was you and how much of you were Estes. So,
I'm not quite sure how to answer that, to be perfectly honest.
at which point he'll actually turn to Dink and say, "By the way, she thinks I'm a champion." And he'll just have a huge smile on his face.
That's wow. That's what exactly did you tell her last night?
Actually, she just told me things.
And she told you were a champion.
Giggity.
Something about the sword choosing a champion, and it chose me.
I mean, like a champion of combat, or are we talking like, a champion of
Combat?
okay.
No, I mean, I'm assuming this has to do with the war. So,
Huh.
we may have to practice a little more later. I don't want to show up flaccid on the field.
That would be really awkward. Yeah. Although I'm not sure how I feel about helping you with that.
No, I'm talking about the sword fighting.
Okay. Yeah, sword
you-
fighting, totally.
That doesn't change it.
And on that note, because I'm continuing to have technical difficulties and it's only 5 minutes to when we would normally end anyway, I'm going to call it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Sorry for all the technical difficulties again. I should have a webcam soon, so I should not have to use my phone anymore, which will make things a lot easier. I'm Elizabeth. You can find me on Twitter at ElizabethC77. It's ELIZABETSY. You can find me here on Monday nights. And yeah, thank you again for watching. If any of my players want to plug their Twitter or anything else that they're involved in, go for it.
I'll take this quick second to do some plugging because I can.
Go for it.
Fettuccini. You can find me on Twitter at the same name. You can find me on Twitch at It's Fettuccini. I do this on Mondays. I'm doing other stuff on Tuesdays. I do Weave RPG gaming for like most of the rest of the week in some fashion or form. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. So, thank you.
But my phone.
Anyone else?
I'm Eok. You can find me on Twitter at Eok4714. And I'm here on Mondays.
Cool.
I'm Cubby Blue for life. On Twitter, on everything else, pretty much take the I out of F and you can find me. Because everybody else has my name somehow. I'm here Monday nights, usually stream myself Monday nights, but that might get changed. And usually try to be around as much as possible.
Alrighty. Have a good week, and we'll see you back here. Same time, same channel. Bye.
Bye.